Well, the football season's back. That means the NFFCO and Prediction League is back, and there is some tweaks to the scoring this year, and I've added some bonus points. Now let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the review on the NFFCO and YouTube channel. Now today I'm going to do my Championship Game Week 1 predictions, and there has been some changes to the scoring system for how the Prediction League works, and I'll get into those changes in the next clip. But before we get into today's video, please make sure you like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. And also make sure if you want to join the Prediction League, get your comments in down below and predict the scores. I'll be in the description as well of this video, so just copy and paste them from there and then put them into paste them into the comment and then edit them into your score predictions. But let's get into how the scoring will work for this season. So the new Prediction League scoring, and also I have changed. James Mason was going to start on -5, but now I've harshed him a bit, -15, because he won the Prediction League. He was absolutely a mile ahead of everyone else, so I decided to start him on less, on -15, and give everyone a head start, because he'll probably catch it up because he's that good. Correct team winning, so say you predicted, we'll go with Millwall against Stoke. You would get 2 points instead of 1 point from last year, so I've improved that by a point. But say you pitched a draw and it was a draw, you get 2 points. Say you predicted 2-1 to Borough and it finished 2-1 to Borough, which would be a correct score. You get 5 points, but you won't get the 2 points from the correct team winning. You don't get the 5 points. That the correct score predictions gone up from 3 to 5. 3 or more correct predictions in 1 week, you get 10 points, and then 5 or more correct teams to win, or correct outcomes like draws or wins for either teams, you get 5 points. So yeah, it's gonna be competitive, with the fact that you could potentially win loads of points. I don't know what the max you can score is, but so if you got 3, you'd score 10 points, but if you got 6, you'd score 20 points. So that's how we're going to do it this year. I might just upload a video just explaining it tomorrow or Friday. But yeah, let's get into score predictions now. Huddersfield versus Burnley on a Friday night. So Huddersfield have obviously lost their 2 best players to Michael Nottingham Forest, and Burnley recently obviously sacked Sean Dyche towards the end of last season, so this could be a very interesting game. This could be. My prediction is 2-0 to Burnley. Obviously we know that Schofield is managing Huddersfield because of Oscar Scorbrand, because apparently he wanted 7 or 8 players and they all went to Championship rivals, so he had an argument with the owner there and he left the club. That's apparently what happened. Burnley have signed Scott Twine, Ian Mason, Ian Murick, I don't know how you say that, Murich though, and I just feel like they're going to win comfortably. 2-0 win to Burnley on the opening day of this season, which I'm sure Burnley fans will take. Live on Sky Sports, the 2-0 for the opening game of the Championship season. Now we get into Blackpool versus Reading. Now Blackpool, they've lost their manager Neil Critchley to Villa, I think, and I just don't know how they're going to do. Obviously they've kept Josh Bowler, who was a star player for them last season, but I just don't know how they're going to do without Scott Neil Critchley. But Reading, they've signed Naby Shah and that, but they're awaiting EFL approval for every signing they make, I think. So I can see Reading not having the best season, because obviously they've lost John Swift and some really good players that they had. I don't know whether they've still got Neil, he was a free agent that they brought in. I don't know whether they've still got him, but I think Blackpool will just have enough. 2 Josh Bowler goals will be enough for Blackpool to beat Reading 2-0 in my opinion. Now we go into Cardiff versus Norwich. Now Cardiff have made a lot of signings. They were even rumoured with Gareth Bale at one point, and if he went to them, I think that would be a massive signing for them. But obviously it didn't happen because he went to Los Angeles FC in MLS. He retired early, but I just think they're still going to be in the relegation trap. I don't think these signings are going to help them. I think they'll still be like languishing down in the relegation scrap. And obviously you're going to see my predictions tomorrow, so make sure you check them out, or today if you're seeing this, because I'm recording this on Wednesday. This video is going out on Thursday. But Norwich, Dean Smith obviously manager of Norwich. I just don't know how they're going to get on the Championship. I originally had them finishing outside the top 6, but I think they're going to finish inside the top 6. I think they'll end up winning the league. I'm going to go a 3-0 Norwich win, Pookie hat-trick on the opening day. Now we get into Rotherham versus Swansea. Now Rotherham was like a yo-yo club, and they've continued their yo-yo trend. So they're going to try to stop that yo-yo trend by managing to stay in the division and not get relegated first season. Whereas Swansea, they've made some really good signings. Obviously last season they finished off strong. They got like Jamie Patterson, Joel Pirro, Michael Bafemi, and they've got some really good signs, and they like to play some like possession-based football, which I like. Possession-based football, it's what I like to play on FIFA with my teams. I like them to control the possession, create chances, score, be good defensively, and I think Swansea tick all those boxes, and I think they could be on for a good playoff campaign, like get in the playoffs and maybe potentially win them. It depends, but I'm going to go for a 2-0 Swansea win. Now we go into Blackburn versus QPR. Now these two sides were battling each other for they were virtually in the playoffs for a lot of the season last season, and then they slipped off towards the end of the season. Obviously Blackburn have got rid of Kadra to Sheffield United, but they've kept their main man Burton Diaz, and I think if they keep him fit they can have a good season. But I think they've still got to look for backup elsewhere, other than they can't just rely on Burton Diaz for goals. Other players got to step in for goals, but obviously they have lost Joe Rothwell, a big man in the midfield for Blackburn. And now into QPR, they've still got Chris Work and that, but I can see them just being the mid-table finish with them like last season turned out for, before they end up dropping off. Ewood Park for this game, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Blackburn win. Now into Luton versus Birmingham. Now both Birmingham battered Luton in both of these fixtures last season, and obviously they want their owner out. They're trying to get in a new owner, but they haven't really got in they've got Cosgrove and Lecco, but they really need to get in Taylor and that, because Lyle Taylor was a big goal scoring threat for them, and obviously he's been a goal scoring threat for Forest, scoring 2 goals so far in pre-season. And I think if they could get Lyle Taylor back on loan, I think he'd probably get him out of trouble. But the fact is that they can't buy Lyle Taylor on a permanent because his wages would be too high. They can only really buy him on a loan. Whereas Luton have signed some really good players. They've got Horvath, they've got Adjabale up front. But I think the main thing that really stopped them last season was the injuries. And if they don't have any injuries, I think they could get playoffs, maybe sneak playoffs last day of the season or something. But I'm going to go for a 2-0 Luton win for this one. Hull versus Bristol City. Now Hull have made some really good signings. John McAllister, Tobias Figueiredo, obviously Cumulus Potter, they're good. One of the best players has left. But Bristol City have signed have really improved their defence, and which was their main weakness last season, and they've kept Masengo so far, who they thought would have left, but he wants to leave run his contract down, from what Harry Minton was saying on the podcast yesterday. I don't know what to do with it. I think this game will be a tight game, and I think Bristol City will just edge it. I think 2 fireman goals will be enough, and I think John McElserry will get a goal for Hull, but it'll be 2-1 to Bristol City. Now we get into Wigan versus Preston North End. Now Wigan, a newly promoted side. I don't know what to think about Wigan. Are they going to be good? Are they going to like just survive? They're not going to survive and get relegated. Preston, I think a mid-table finish with them this season, and nothing much above that, above mid-table, but I think I'm going to back them to win this game by 2-0. Now we get in to Millwall versus Stoke. Now I think Millwall will be a surprise package, and I think they'll get into the playoffs, to be honest. I don't know why, I just think they're going to get playoffs this season. I think they've got a good enough squad to get playoffs, and I think they will get playoffs. Now, Stoke, they've signed some good players, but it's just about, can they be consistent in that, and can they like improve on their finishes? Like normally they're 14th in that, but will they like not be 14th this season? Will it be higher? It really depends. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I'm going to sit on the fence for this early game in the season. Now we're going to Borough versus West Brom. Now Borough, I think they're going to get top 2. All they need is a striker, and then they're finished getting top 2. I think they'll get the top 2 if they sign a striker. Now West Brom, I don't fancy them under Steve Bruce, to be honest. And I don't think they'll I don't think they'll do well this season. And under Steve Bruce, I think they've got a good squad for the Championship, but I don't think Steve Bruce is the one to guide them up to the Premier League, back to the Premier League. Now we get into Sunderland versus Coventry. Now I'm going to sit on the fence in this and go 1-1. I've changed my prediction multiple times for this, but I think I'm going to sit on the fence and go for a 1-1 draw, because I think both sides are very equally matched. I think Sunderland will survive relegation. I think Coventry will be like mid-table, maybe pushing for playoffs if they have a good season. But yeah, I'm going to sit on the fence and go for 1-1. I was thinking 2-1 Coventry or something like that, but I just decided to go for a 1-1 draw. Now we're into the final game of this game week, Watford versus Sheffield United. Now Watford have just come down, and I don't think they're going to do well this season. I think they'll end up sacking Rob Edwards after a couple of months, and I don't think they're going to do that well this season. Whereas Sheffield United, I think, are really going to build on from that playoff defeat. They're starting Kadra, who's a really good player. They've signed some really good players as well, but I don't know. I can't remember who they signed. I know they've lost Morgan Gibbs-White, but I think the injuries really killed them towards the end of the season. I think they would have got through. I think they could have beaten us in the playoffs if they didn't have those injuries and they weren't playing like Morgan Gibbs-White and giant striker. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Sheffield United win. Sheffield United to start off their season really good with a 2-1 win. Now that will wrap it up for today's predictions videos. I'm pretty sure you join the prediction league. Obviously, James Macy, you'll have to you're going to have a big gap to make up, but that's because you won the prediction league last season. So everyone, comment down below your predictions, and like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in my next video.